Welcome back. I'm Scarlett, your guide to the wonderful world of electric vehicles. So far, we've busted myths about charging times and we've discussed a new EV mandate, but today we've got a question that's scratching a lot of city dwellers' heads. I don't have a driveway, so how on earth am I supposed to charge my electric vehicle? Great question, and not one you often think of. But no, the answer isn't running the extension cable through your kitchen window like you see on TikTok. First off, let's talk about public charging. If you don't have a driveway, you're obviously not alone. There's millions of people in the UK that don't have a driveway. Millions of EV drivers rely on public chargers every single day. And these can often be found in places like supermarkets, gyms, garden and shopping centres, and your local cafes. So if you're one of those lucky EV drivers, charging your car as well as shopping and grabbing a coffee at the same time, that is multitasking at its finest. Plus, with the charging network expanding rapidly, the chances of you finding an EV charger near you are easier than finding a matching sock in the washing pile. Now let's talk about street charging. Did you know that in the UK, some cities are turning their street lamps into EV chargers? And even if your area doesn't have street lamps, many councils are working on providing on-street charging. And let's not forget about charging your car at work. More and more employees are installing EV chargers in their efforts to sustainability. If your workplace has charging stations, you'll be lucky enough to charge your battery and work at the same time. Or pretending to work, I'm not going to judge. And if your workplace doesn't have a charger, ask about it. Many companies don't realise that their employees need these things until they ask about it. Plus, there's also government grants that help with these things. And here's one you probably haven't thought of, but community charging hubs. These are placed in convenient public locations such as residential streets and car parks. Companies like CoCharger and Zap Home even let EV owners with home chargers share with people nearby who don't have a driveway. It's like Airbnb, but for charging points. And let's not forget about rapid chargers. If you're someone who can't charge your car at home, you can rely on these public, powerful chargers to fill you up. A 20 to 30 minute stop a week might be all you need to keep your EV running. Obviously, that depends on the range of your EV and how many miles you drive daily. Apps such as ZapMap and PlugShare also make it super easy to find fast chargers on your everyday commute. They also show if a charger is available or currently being used. Because let's face it, nothing is worse than turning up to a charger and they're already busy. Now let's talk about the future, because after the EV mandate episode, we already know the future for EVs is looking pretty bright. Governments around the world are investing in EV infrastructure. In the UK, for example, there's funding specifically for installing more on-street chargers. And in some places, such as London, they're currently testing wireless charging pads that you can just drive onto and park over, so there's no cables required. It's like magic, but with magnets. So if you're sat there at home worried about not having a driveway, know that solutions are popping up faster than you can say electric revolution. To sum this episode up, I don't have a driveway isn't a deal breaker for owning an EV. But I understand that you could be put off by that. Between public chargers, workplace options, community hubs, and innovative street solutions, there will be plenty of ways to keep your car charged, whether you have a driveway or not. It's not about waiting for the perfect solution, it's about finding what works for you. So thank you for joining me on this episode of EV Education. If you've got any more myths that you'd like me to bust, drop them in the comments or send us a message. And remember, the future is still electric, even if you don't have a driveway to park on. I'll see you next week.